Alright, you'll see here in the back of the trailer we are missing the floor. I ran into a little bit of rot over in this area here, which undoubtedly was from the water coming in down here. We had a little bit of rot here and a little bit of rot up there, and I figured, and I talked to some other people, and I figured if there was rot in the floor there in those spots, it's just as easy to replace this entire back piece as it is to just replace a corner, and we would catch everything here in case there were some other spots. Cut across there, that's about, I think it was 37 inches from the back to that point, all the way across. I used my skill saw. I cut just the top layer of the 3/8 inch plywood. There's a layer of soundboard under that, and that was in good shape, so I didn't want to do any more destruction than I had to. So I cut that, used my skill saw across the middle. When I got as close as I could with my skill saw, I used my multi-tool on each of the ends here to trim up to the sides there. And this was held in place. You can see here on the top, you can see here is one larger hole, and you can see these other nails that go through here. There's actually these rest on a piece of 2 by, it looks like it's maybe a 2x3. It's not quite a 2x4, I don't think, that runs front to back in the trailer. There's one here, there's one at that row, there is one here, and then there's one on the side. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 connection points for that approximately 7-foot piece of wood to hold on there. And there is actually, I believe there's a cross member across here as well. This section of wood you're sleeping on, so there's not going to be a lot of standing. You would be more concerned about cross members going left to right if you were up here in the main walking area of the trailer. But these here should be fine. So anyways, we cut that out, pulled that stuff up. You can see here, this is what it is. It's I think I saw somewhere it was Douglas fir 3/8 inch plywood. I've got some other plywood that's similar to that to replace it with. I've also got some carriage bolts. You can see that hole there, this hole here, and there's one on the side, on each side. Those are carriage bolts. I'm going to put those back in. So what I basically will do, those are, let's see, those are 4.5 by 5/16 inch carriage bolts. I will lay the floor down, and then I will take a bit that I've got and drill up through the existing holes, and then I should come up through those same holes. So that's going to be my next part of the project. So let me get started.
You'll see right here, I actually forgot to do any video of this, but basically what I did for the flooring was to, you saw in the previous clip there where I cut the flooring out. All I did was cut another piece of 3/8 inch plywood and lay it on top of that to match exactly to the width and the length front to back of the flooring piece that was missing. And then I took some carriage bolts. You'll see those here. Those are the carriage bolts that I used. I bought those at Home Depot, I believe it was, and those fit pretty well in the holes. They were a little tight, but they worked fine. I used a Forstner bit and countersunk those into the back of the floor so that they would be flush, so that when I put my actual flooring tile on top, they wouldn't be protruding up through the floor. And they were about the right length to have a good 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch sticking out the bottom to be able to tap those on. And I put washers on those, as well as nylon lock nuts. I also put some screws in that flooring every few inches into the 2x material that's underneath to pull that flooring down nice and tight. And when I got done, that flooring matched up to the other existing subflooring that was left in the front of the trailer. One thing you'll want to note there, and I noted in that note in the last clip, is that anywhere you cut that you're going to have flooring that's going to have any weight at all put on it, you want to make sure you have bracing. So I actually went back and I put bracing across that seam right in the center there where the old flooring and the new flooring met. As I walked on it a little bit, it was a little spongy, so it definitely, when I put the bracing underneath, that really helped to bring that up and make it good and solid right there. The other thing was that when you replace that flooring, it's just as easy to replace that strip there. I think I said it was 30 something inches wide, or front to back of the trailer, I guess, deep by about 7 foot wide. It's as easy to replace that whole strip as it would be to replace one corner. I actually only really had one corner there that was rotten, but replacing that whole strip was just as easy. It took me maybe 10 minutes to pull that out, another 10 or 15 minutes to cut the board and get it in there. It really was not that big a deal. One other thing too would be is if your underlayment, your soundboard there was damaged, you would need to replace that. Mine was in pretty good shape. Like, it actually looked a lot better than I thought it would. So I left that like it was. It wasn't damaged at all. So that's it for now. That's about the flooring in the back. That will be essentially the same in the front. When I get to that, we'll see how that turns out, see if I need to replace any of that. But if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up down below, and also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and you will get updates every time I post a new video. Also, check me out on Instagram and Facebook. I post stuff on there that I don't necessarily put on these videos, and you'll get to see some of my other projects and ramblings on there. Thanks.